How's it going, guys, and welcome back to another modded Minecraft video. And quite a lot has happened here since we were here last. I wanted to get some stuff done, and so I will walk you around it. The first thing I got done was a Tinker's Construct area here. So I just built this little hut, kind of coming off the secondary tower, and set up a smeltery here. We've got a little mining tunnel there. I'm going to close that up eventually. And, you know, a little work table here and chests, just to get myself some tools going. And then I built a little hatchery here. And this is very simple. It's actually vanilla, because it's just a chicken in a hole with a downwards facing hopper here and a chest. So as I'm hanging around, over time, I get eggs and feathers. And this is largely because I remember before playing Minecraft, doing Thaumcraft stuff in particular, I ended up wanting a lot of feathers and having trouble finding them. So I wanted to start collecting those early. Now, let's go inside. I also built this storage room down here. So I've got quite a lot of storage space now. Just enough to keep me going for the beginning anyway. So yeah, just a simple little design. Got some fences and stuff, just to give it a little bit more detail. Because, you know, it's a pretty simple room. Now, let's go up. I'll show you some of the other things I got done. In here, up in the little magic tower, I actually started doing some things. I've been doing some research in Thaumcraft and all of this kind of stuff. So I've got my arcane work table, my research table, and put some crystals around here because I was told that having these crystal clusters every now and then gives you primal research points. However, I haven't actually seen it happen, so I'm not sure if it does happen. Now, the next thing we're going to have to do is make a load of golem cores, because what I want to do this episode is set up some, whoops, did I click on something? Set up some farming. Now, for that we're going to need, I want to do 3 farms, one for each basic crop, and so we're going to need 6 golems, 3 gather golems, so using this golem core here, and 3 harvest golems, which is going to have to be the wooden golem here, with the order upgrade. So, let's see, what do I need? The first thing I'm going to need is some bricks, and I think I left some of those cooking downstairs. Let's go and have a look. I should have some. Now, I like golem farms. There's kind of like tech mods that do it in kind of better, but I don't know. There's something about the golem farms in particular that I really, really like. Now, it's getting dark, so I should probably have a sleep soon. Yes, it is. Yeah, because I've kind of gone off AFK in here before and been safe, but I'm not entirely sure if I'm... You know, if I'm completely safe. If something spawned close enough, it could possibly find its way in and get to me. So I don't want a creeper to end up in here and blowing up, because the wood in here would be really vulnerable. Now, what was the other thing I needed? I should have checked both. Okay, so I'm going to need some night ore. So what I'm going to do, anyways, because I need some kind of a few other ingredients as well, is I'm just going to get this set up and show you the basic idea, and I might actually do that off camera because... Oh, ow. Sorry, I've got this thing. I've got a bit of a swelling in my gum right now because I've got an issue I'm waiting on a dentist appointment for, and every now and then I eat my face while I'm talking. So I just ate my face there a little bit. So that happened. We've got to hit this with our wand here, and normally this takes fire or magma underneath it to power it, but I've got the night ore down there, and that provides power without burning up the wood. So we can do indoor alchemy without being in danger, which is nice. Put some water in. But yes, what I'm going to need is quite a bit of stuff, because I'm going to need 6 night ore. That's not too much of a problem. I can make that fairly quickly. Going to need the animation cores. And then I'm going to need like 3 gather and 3 harvest cores from those basic animation cores. And whoops, sorry about that, guys. There is a little bit of an issue with my recording program, where sometimes if I click on a part of my screen where the recording panel is, it will minimize Minecraft and go to that program, and that makes the recording break. So the recording broke there, sorry. So yeah, as I was saying, I'm going to need the 6 animation cores. We're going to have to make 3 of them into harvest and 3 of them into gather. And then the harvest ones are going to need the order upgrade. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go away and I'm going to get all that stuff ready to make the golems. And we'll make the golems and we'll go out and we'll make a farm plot. Okay, guys, I will see you in a minute. Okay, so here we go, and I've gotten the resources together for the golems, and I'm kind of glad that I did a cut there for that, because it turned out that they are not more expensive than I remembered, but more kind of oddly specific in the kinds of ingredients you end up having to use. So, I'm just going to make 6 wooden golems, and need Humanus, Motus, and Spiritus, and there's lots of different ways you can do that, but the easiest way is of soul sand, trapdoors, and rotten flesh. So, yeah, oddly kind of an odd collection of ingredients to use. I could use straw golems, which are a lower tier of golem, but I'm actually shorter on resources to make hay bales than I am on greatwood logs, so this is actually, for some an odd reason, easier. I've got the order upgrades, which I'll need for 2 of them as well, and the animation cores. So let's chuck these ingredients in here. We need 4 times 6 of each, so that's 24 of each ingredient. And now we need to chuck in 6 greatwood logs, and something has gone wrong. We have gotten back 4 golems, and everything's full of nasty stuff. Okay. Let's see if we can get some more out of this. What ingredients do we still have plenty of in here? We've got plenty of lots of stuff that we don't need. Okay. So we'd actually need more of the trapdoors if we wanted to make more. So let's just make do with the 4 we've got for now. We can make 2 farms out of that, so that's pretty good. I will just do the other one off camera. And this can just be here for now. It shouldn't cause too much trouble, and it will slowly go away on its own, I believe. Now, the next thing I've got to do is the animation cores, which is also a crucible thing. Okay. So I was hoping this was going to be an arcane workbench thing, but it's a crucible thing. So I'm going to get the resources for that probably off camera as well. And I might just, because I'm not very good at the crucible, I'll just get all the resources together, and then we'll head out and we'll build the farm. Because it looks like I can't be too exact on the math here. I've got to have some extra lying around. Although, just quickly, I'm going to try chucking in a little bit of stuff there, and nope. Just made it worse. Okay, yeah, so I'm gonna cut, and I'll get the resources together, wrestling with this guy. Maybe I'll get a little bit better at it over time, we'll see. And then we'll go and make the farm. So, okay, guys, I will see you in a minute. Okay, guys, here we are. I did a little bit of gathering of the resources, got my golems set up, got 4 of the guys here, because I thought I'd just do the 2 farms for now. And I laid this out in... I actually already tried to record a little bit, and I was going to originally put these 2 blocks deep so that they would be underneath the surface of the farm, but when I did that, for some reason, and I swear it worked in older versions, it would not stay tilled. So, what we're going to want to do now is just go along, and this is our kind of farm area, and I'm going to have each one be kind of 2 rows, I think, so like this, and this area will be a farm. So let's get this just hoed up, and there we go. So yeah, that will be a farm, and it should be okay for our purposes. So what we need to do now is put down a chest at some kind of gathering location, and I'm gonna say have it here, and I am going to put down, I need a gather golem. I'm going to put him down, clicking on the chest so that he has that chest as his location. At least I think I recall that being how it works. And then I'm going to put down a harvest golem, kind of in the center. And the idea now should be that we plant a load of seeds. And let's just see. If I chuck this down, he should go over and grab it and put it in the chest. Excellent. So now all we've got to do now is plant down a load of seeds, and he should now, whenever they grow, go around harvesting and replanting them, and the other guy will gather the loose items, so that'll be the occasional seed and the wheat, and he will then kind of put it in the chest, and all I've got to do is come over every now and then here and do that. So now we'll just put a bit of a fence going around it. Oops. And leave a little gap there for the chest. Although, one thing I might do actually is go like that. So it's like coming in a little bit for the chest. That gives it a little bit of a cool look. Yeah, because we don't ever really need to go in here. There's never really much of a reason to mess with the golem farm once it's set up. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, the reason I tried to put these 2 blocks deep originally is because I was afraid that the golems might fall in, and I think I'm just going to hope that they don't, because it was not working. I think the golems are smart enough to not actually have any kind of issue. But yeah, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the same with this farm here. I'm not sure if I'll put this... I might end up putting the other farm further in, or maybe over there or here, because here would probably take too much space. So I'm going to fill this row in most likely. Okay, guys, so I'll head away, get the second farm done, and I'm back in a minute. Okay, here we go, guys. I got the second farm done, and you just saw a little golem putting stuff away in the chest there. What I'm going to do, though, is get a little bit of bone meal out and show you guys how it works. So, it doesn't always trigger instantly, because, as you see, this guy here is not being seen, but it should work if I use a few bone meal. It will cause him, at some point, it's... of course, it's taking a while now, I'm looking at it, but what happens is every now and then, basically it checks the area around it for grown crops. I'm not sure exactly what the instance is. Let's have a look at him here, and hopefully we can see the process doing. It's a guy in the middle there that we're waiting for. He should soon see that this has grown, and he'll go and knock it off and leave like the stuff lying on the ground, and then this guy will come over, grab it, and put it in the chest. And he will also use any seeds that he picks up to plant. For example, like this carrot here. Oh, there he goes. Look, there he goes. We can see him doing it now. This guy's within range, so he tries to pick it up. But yeah, this carrot, actually, I just started with 2 carrots here, and it's already grown in the last couple of minutes up to 6. So they do actually plant down next to them as well, which is really handy. So all you've got to do is hoe down the ground, and then you can just let them build a farm for you. So yeah, it's really, really useful, and I really like using golem farms. There are, of course, as at some point I expect some commenters will point out, much, much better, more efficient ways of doing farms. If you're kind of interested in the produce you get out of it and getting it all for not putting much effort in, there are much, much better and quicker ways to do farms. But I kind of like the idea of using golems. I don't know, it's just fun to me. So I'm using these, even though there's probably better ways of doing it. Because, you know, this world, it's not necessarily about doing things the best way possible, but the most interesting. And I swear I just slept before recording. Oh, and it's already dark. Okay. So, this is about all of the kind of tech development I think we'll get done. But what I'm thinking of doing... ooh, this is really getting dark. So what I'm going to do is... go to sleep briefly. What I'm thinking of doing is setting up starting to build a little path, because when I was wandering around in these woods back here, I kept on thinking it was a really nice area, and it would be nice to have a little path going through. And I plan a few other builds in the area, so having some paths between the builds would be quite nice. So I think I might start that now. You know, just as a little way to cap off the video. And what I'm thinking of doing is using these 2 slabs here, the mossy and cracked stone bricks slab. Now these are done. It's a little bit of a complex crafting process. We use normal stone, so that's like stone that's been through a forge, like so. And we use that in a chisel, like this, so we can get like the 2 ones here. So let's say I'm going to go for the non-mossy version. And then we get a diamond saw, or any saw. It's a forge micro blocks item. Any crafting table, we put the saw pretty much anywhere. I think it works on the side. And then the block we want to cut in half to the below of it, and it will turn it into a slab. Now, the really, really cool thing about these slabs is that when you're trying to place them, look, there'll be a shadow, and you can place them at any orientation you want. So if I want to place it here, I can have a side-based slab, just like that. No problem whatsoever. So these are really good for adding detail to your builds, and I might end up making extensive use of these for some builds I have planned in the future, because they are so useful for making more detailed builds in Minecraft. Yeah, so especially, you know, like I've got a lot of kind of Creativerse viewers who, you know, because my channel's mostly Creativerse, so a lot of my viewers are probably coming to be from that game, and that has a block rotation mechanic. So, and people are going, oh yeah, you know, this is a really good feature to have. And I guess this is Forge Microblocks kind of equivalent of a similar kind of feature, even though it's been out for, I think, longer than Creativerse has. But yeah, it's a similar kind of way of dealing with the same problem of how do you rotate a slab. Well, here it's kind of done by kind of pointing with the mouse, and it will kind of dynamically switch like that, which is easier in some ways and more awkward in others, because if you're trying to place something quickly and you're just like running, say if you just want to place a big line of them and you're running, it will kind of place randomly with some in some rotation than the others, so you have to take a little bit more time when you're building it. But it still works pretty well, and it's pretty good for a system which had basically nothing before. Now the problem is going to be dealing with things like this. So what I'm thinking of doing is I'll have this, and I'll put one there, but I'm going to put the mossy here. Let's see if I can... What I'll do is I'll place a block down here, do that, then that. See, I only want a few mossy ones every now and then. Now, what I think we're going to do now is go down here like this. and along. So see, it takes a little bit more time placing it. So in many ways, I think I probably prefer the Creativerse system, but this is certainly really, really good. And it's the awesome thing about this is you can't just create like slabs. The creation part of this technique is really, really awesome in that I'm not sure if it'll work in here, but let's see if I can place this in here. See, I can actually create a panel, which is even thinner. It's half the width of a slab, and I think there might even be one that's smaller than that. I'm not sure. And you can create posts and like what they call a notch, which is not the developer of the game, but a little kind of blob, like a corner piece, like this kind of piece here in like a cube. So you can create really, really amazing detail with Forge microblocks. The only thing is I've heard it creates... Oh, what am I doing? I've actually done a really silly thing. I had meant to place this level with the ground, and I will do that now. But anyway, you get the idea of the build. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to kind of... The idea is to kind of stagger some blocks out, oops, like that every now and then, just to give it a bit of a kind of shape. And, you know, get some tall grass around it and stuff like that to help blend it in with the surroundings a little bit. And the idea is eventually we'll have a nice looking little path, kind of like the ones I was doing in Creativerse, but, you know, using a different color palette. Well, similar color palette, I guess, but, you know, different different blocks. But yeah, so hopefully that will look nice, and I think what I'm going to do is do that between this and the next video, so at least have part of it so I can just show you at the beginning, because after that, I think it's time to start working on making some real progress in this world, because, you know, I've been here for a couple of weeks now, and we've got this nice little house. And it's nice, but it's time to move on to bigger and better things. So I'm going to have to find a location for what's going to be not necessarily an utterly permanent base, but a more long-term one. I'm still going to do stuff here. I've got a lot of little things like this path and other little things just to pretty up this location that I want to do. But I'll be possibly interspersing those with other projects. So every now and then we'll come back here and we'll do something. Ooh, my computer bleeped there. And then we'll be doing something in other areas. So I just don't want to get too bogged down in here because people might not find it all that interesting. So I'm going to find a location for a big build, and we can start laying that out and maybe have a few more other projects so we can kind of move around the place and do different things, keeping it fresh. And, so yeah, that's the idea. You know, still learning my way through Minecraft again. Lots of mods have changed quite a bit since I've played it, so still learning my ways around things. But yeah, I'm having an absolute blast and really enjoying this building process. It's been absolutely wonderful that this series has got as many views as it has. I know it's not getting as many as Creativerse, but that it's still getting, to me, plenty. So I'm really, really glad you guys are watching and enjoying the series. And as always, I really would appreciate any feedback you've got. Tell me, you know, come and tell me any thoughts you have about how I can improve the series and make it more enjoyable for you guys, because that ultimately is what this is here for. It's here for you guys. This, you know, all of this kind of stuff, it's all entertainment. So if there's something you think I can do better, then absolutely come forwards and tell me. I'm always trying to make my videos better than they were before, and that's how I think any kind of digital creator has to work, and to go, well, okay, so how do I do it a little bit better this week than I did last week? Anyway, guys, I am really, really enjoying this. I hope you're enjoying it too, and I will see you in the next video. See you later, guys!